This is a short video providing guidance on how to use a HMEP lifecycle planning toolkit. This version has been updated by Atkins and commissioned by the UK Roads Liaison Group Asset Management Board. The toolkits are intended for use by local highway asset management engineers to support strategic level planning decisions. We'll be looking at how to use the Carriageway Toolkit, however the other two toolkits are used in a similar way. This is the Home Sheet tab. The Home Sheet tab provides basic guidance on sheet tab colours, input cell colours and various taskbar buttons. These taskbar buttons appear on every worksheet of the tool. There is the Home button to return you back to this tab, the Model Structure button which takes you to the Model Structures tab, and the Help button which is used to display helpful information relevant to the screen you are currently using. There is also a Copy to Clipboard button available on certain tabs which will copy the contents of the worksheet to the Windows clipboard. The Home Sheet tab also provides details on the version history of the software and the contact details for reporting faults if any. Next is the Model Structure worksheet. This shows the structure of the toolkit with each box representing a different worksheet. The numbers in the top left corner of the boxes denote the number of the worksheets and the order in which the worksheets are typically used in analysis. The Model Structure tab can be used to go to any of the worksheets. The Input sheet is used to enter information about the assets and the analysis we want to conduct. We enter the start year from when we want the analysis to begin, in this case 2018. We then input the analysis period, which must be between 10 and 60. We can enter condition bands between 3 and 10 to signify the condition that the assets are in. We can enter 2 to 4 homogeneous asset groups. We define the number of treatment types between 2 and 10. We can also add a name and description for these treatment types. As well as this, we can set the output graph to show a bar or an area graph. The input sheet information will be used to complete all the remaining input sheets. The homogeneous asset group worksheet is used to input the length and width of each asset group. The initial condition for the base year of each asset group should also be entered here. It should be noted that homogeneous asset groups should be inserted hierarchy-wise, based on the importance of the asset, as treatments will prioritise the asset groups based on the order that they are inserted into this tab. Transition matrices are used to determine how much of the asset degrades to a worse condition in a typical year, from factors such as traffic, weather and several others. This is expressed in terms of starting conditions and destination conditions. For example, this 0.91 suggests that 91% of the assets in very good condition for the Scanner Strata main rural matrix will remain in very good condition in year 1. The transition matrix worksheet also allows us to add a new matrix, copy a matrix, and delete a matrix. As well as this, we can view and edit a matrix which allows us to more easily input transition probabilities. Here we can more easily input transition probabilities. We can also view the deterioration profile. This shows how the asset is likely to deteriorate over time. The treatment effects and cost tab should be used to enter the change in condition as a result of the treatment and the change in the asset group as a result of the treatment. The treatment cost should also be entered here. And we can specify different costs for each asset group and different costs for each condition band. Treatment strategies define the treatments that are defined in the Input tab and in which priority order. The toolkit will work its way down the list of steps until either a performance target is reached or the budget is exhausted. So that is why the order of inputs plays a pivotal role on the output. Here we enter the name of the treatment strategy, the treatment for the steps of each treatment strategy and the corresponding condition band to these steps. This percentage treated column specifies the maximum percentage of the assets in the condition that should be treated in each treatment step. The worksheet has relevant buttons to add treatment strategies, delete strategies, add steps, and delete steps. Also note that the total percentage of assets that should be treated in a particular condition band should not exceed 100%. The toolkits ran with either a budget constraint or a performance target. If you do not want to introduce a budget constraint, then the budget tab can remain blank. If a budget constraint is in place, you should decide whether the constraint can be broken down by specific treatment types and homogeneous asset groups, or if there is an overall budget constraint. For the case where the budget constraint is broken down by treatment type and homogeneous asset group, you should enter the budget constraint for each treatment type, if known. You can then select Y or N to indicate whether you want any remaining budget to be rolled over to the next year or not. Note, this only applies to the same homogeneous asset group. For the case where the budget is independent of treatment type, you should add a single line to the budget, selecting any treatment and ensuring the totals column contains the overall budget as shown. It should be noted that choosing the overall budget constraint will cause the overall budget to be applied amongst all homogeneous asset groups. You will also need to select the overall option when filling in the scenarios tab later. Like before, the Budgets tab has buttons to add and delete budgets as required. Similar to the Budget Constraint tab, if you do not want to introduce a performance target, then this tab can remain blank. For entering a performance target, you should enter the name of each performance target, the performance indicator, the expression, and the performance target as a percentage. We also have buttons for adding and deleting performance targets. In the Scenario tab, we enter the name of each scenario, the transition matrix for each scenario, the treatment strategy for each scenario, and either the budget constraint or performance target. You can't select both. Everything selected in the Scenario tab has been defined in the previous tabs. Also, selecting Overall from the Budget Constraint drop-down runs a sum of all the budget constraints. The Scenarios tab has buttons for copying cells, clearing rows, and pasting copied cells. There is also a button for running the lifecycle analysis once you have completed all the input tabs. Note that the progress of the analysis is shown here. Once we've entered the input worksheets and run the analysis, we can view various output data. We can view the condition of the asset by year and how this changes over time as a percentage of how much of the asset is in each condition band. We can also see the graphs representing this for each of the asset groups. We can view the work quantity by year data, showing how much work has been done by each treatment type. This is measured in meters squared. There are also corresponding graphs representing this for each asset group. We can view the expenditure by condition band data, shown in pounds for each year. There is also graphs visualising this for each asset group. We have the expenditure by treatment type for each year, measured in pounds, and the corresponding graphs for each asset group. We can also select which treatment type we want to see the expenditure for. Finally, we have the area by year data, which shows the area in meters squared of each asset group that is in each condition band each year. Thank you for listening to this guidance concerning the LCP toolkits. For any further information or questions, please refer to the guidance documents or send an email to ukrlg@ciht.org.uk with your query.